For this assignment, you are going to turn yourself into an emoji or basically a small cartoon of your face. To do this, you're going to create a new file. So inside of Adobe Illustrator, I click on the blue New File button or I click up where it says New. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to go ahead and choose the one that's default here. It says Letter. I'm going to change this to your name, cartoon face, and then I click on the Create button. Now that I have done this, I need to place a picture of my face in here. To do that, I'm going to go up to the word File. I'm going to go down to Place. I have my picture saved on my desktop. You might have yours saved inside of your Downloads folder. I then place my picture by clicking. I can drag. Now, as I drag, notice how it distorts my face. I don't want it to do that. Let me undo. To make it easier to keep the aspect ratio the same, I press Shift on the keyboard and I drag. I let go and I click in the middle, and I want to get my picture inside of here. Now, once I have my picture in here, I need to lock this layer. So I'm going to lock the layer by coming over here under my layers. If layers is not shown, you can go up to the window and go down to layers. To lock it, I click next to the eyeball. Now what I want to do is create a little emoji of my face. I can use different tools. I can use the pen tool. I can use shape tools. I can explore some of these other tools. For right now, I'm going to start with an oval to kind of create the outline of my face. So I press and hold on the rectangle tool. I go to the ellipse tool, and notice how it's locked. I have to create a new layer. So I come down here to my layers, I hit the plus, and I'm going to rename these layers so that I don't get lost on which one it is. If I double click, I can call this layer Photo, and then I can click up here and I can call it Cartoon. Now I'm going to draw an oval, something like that, but I want to get the color more aligned with my skin color. So what I do is I'm going to come over here. I have my stroke, which is the outside line, and I have my fill, which is the inside. I'm going to select the fill, so it's in front, and I'm going to turn it off, so there's no fill. Then I select the eyedropper tool, and I can choose a pixel to get the color from. So if I like that one, I can keep it. If not, I press Command Z, and I can move my cursor over to a different spot. And so find a color that looks good. Now I want to create my other shapes, like my eyes and other parts, but I can't do that because I can't see behind here. So what I want to do is swap my fill with my stroke color. To do that, I can click on the swap fill and stroke, and you can see it now has that color is the stroke, and I can draw other things. I can come back anytime and swap these back. So let's say that I've drawn this shape. I want to draw some hair on here now. I can use the pen tool, and I can just go through, and remember, if I click and drag, it gives me a nice curve. If I want it to be straight, I can just click without dragging. So if I just have straight lines here, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of create an outline here for my hair. I want to finish off the shape. Notice how when I go to the beginning, there's a circle. That means the shape is finishing. I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool. I'm going to select a hair color. If I don't like it, Command Z, maybe I select a different one. And so now I have that color. I can then click on the face, and I can start seeing that this is coming about. Now, if I want to get into more details, for example, if I look at my face and I don't want it to be so rounded, I can click on the pen tool, and I can click on this outline. Then I switch to my direct selection tool and I can kind of change the shape. So I can add anchor points. I can even move anchor points around inside of the shape. So what you're going to do is you're going to create an image of your face, and your goal is to find a balance between how much details you want to include and what you don't want to include. What I mean by this is, looking at this, my hair is pretty flat. There's not much color to it. I could come in and I could create a new shape. Let's say I want to have a little bit of a lighter color of hair. This is probably a bad shape to do, but I could come and I can choose my color and I can lighten it a little bit. I can also use, let's say, the paintbrush, and maybe I want to paint different aspects of it. Inside of my face, maybe I select my face and I swap the fill and the stroke. Maybe I need to create sort of a shadow here. So if I want to do that, I can come in, I can use my pen tool, and maybe I'm going to create a little darker shadow. And I'm doing this quickly. If you spend more time, it'll look better. I can swap out this color and I can make it look a little darker. So maybe I just make it a little bit darker. I can then switch my face's stroke and fill, and you can start seeing I can manipulate this to give it a little shadow. So your goal is to create an image of you, make it look like a cartoon. You can be as detailed as you want. Try not to have just a flat image like this. See if you can add in shadows by creating more shapes to go over the top of it. When you are finished, you're going to save this file as your name, cartoon face, and you will upload it to Google Classroom. If at any time you need to turn off the picture, you can click the eyeball on the layers and you can see just the picture.